Breaking news, controversy over the 1981 FA Cup final replay. Oh, this is a big one, a feud, some are calling it, I'm not. Some are calling it a feud. Steve Perryman versus Garth Crooks. Steve Perryman has asked me for help, I'm asking you for help. So I want comments below. Let's get into it. Let's see what this story is about. Now, I was chatting to Steve last night, and he said he was having a chat with Garth Crooks. Garth Crooks. You know, this is serious. I've got the suit on. You know it's serious. Now, Steve was claiming that he was in the penalty area for all 3 goals in their 1981 FA Cup final replay versus Manchester City, where we won. Steve lifted the cup. Someone tried to give him a hug and said sorry to the cops. We know the story. Now, there is conclusive evidence to show that Steve Perryman was in fact in the box for the first 2 goals. Clear as day, big number 6 all over the screen, done. Now Garth even disputed those two goals that are proven to be true. So now we get into the murky conspiracy area, the Bigfoot territory I'm calling it, of goal number 3, Ricky Villiers' goal. Steve Perryman says he was in the box. I'm going to go through the footage in a minute. We're going to review the evidence. But this is where you come in, folks. We need you. Steve needs you. Our captain needs us. Have you got a missing bit of footage that can fill in the gaps? Now, I have got a lead. I've got a hot lead, which I'm going to share with you a bit later. So, in case you've forgotten the goal, let's have a look at it. Now, just to add a little layer of Bigfootery to this is, I'm taking this footage from a YouTube channel called Sean Hunt. It was the cleanest footage I can find. And Sean is also an animator, and he's got some great stuff on his website. So I'll put the link into Sean's channel below, because he's got some fantastic stuff there. Right, let's have a look at this goal. Let's see if we can do a bit of Arthur C. Clarke and fill in the mystery. Well, he never did he? So I'm not going to either. Here we go. So we already know what's happened up to this point. We know that it was a great tackle by Roberts, that now it's Galvin, and Spurs have 2 to his right, and Galvin wants to go it alone. Anyway, Ricky Villiers ends up with the ball. Let's see who's on the pitch here. We got Steve Archibald, who's probably politely saying, excuse me, sir, can I have the football, please? Then you've got Garth Crooks. Garth Crooks loitering around, keeping himself well onside. Well done. There is perhaps a little blur here. We don't know. We cannot clearly see, at this point, the far left and the corner of the right, but the footage zooms in. So we're never going to, the area shrinks down. Could Steve be running in round here? Could he be, I don't know about that. Here we go. It's still Villiers. There's Archibald. He still wants the ball, even there's 4 players between him and the ball. I don't know how many times I watch this goal. It still makes me laugh. Still makes me smile. There he goes, running in and out of the trees. Archibald's getting ready for a rebound or something like that. I think he's still asking for the ball. He's put his hands behind his back there. You can tell it's Archie and Marloff, even though the resolution's bad. He always had his shirt hanging out. He was a free spirit. Great partnership, Crooks and Archibald. And we just go back a bit, maybe this is part of the thing that feeds into the controversy. We see here Garth Crooks ready to do his phantom kick just to help the ball over the line. Is there resentment there, Garth? Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, he was a bit further away than Muhammad Ali was from Sonny Liston with the phantom punch, but hey, look, every bit helps. So from this angle, as the ball crosses the line, there-ish, that'll do. We cannot see this part of the penalty area. We can't see this part of the penalty area. Let's see what happens when we go behind the goal. There he falls over. Now, first on the scene, there's Glenn Hoddle. They're all running around like aeroplanes. Now, watch this. Ricky starts his celebration. There's Garth. There's Glenn. There's Steve Archibald. We're all 100% sure of where they were. He runs. He's nowhere near, he's running to the corner. Oh, there's Joe Corrigan. Unlucky man. What's this? There we go, number 6. Now, there's another layer of mystery to this. Another layer of mystery, because ITV stuffed up the lineup. They've got these 2 shirts swapped around. They've got Ricky Villiers in the 6 shirt and Steve Perryman in the 5 shirt. And I noticed, I've been doing some digging on this to help Steve out. On the Wikipedia page of the lineup, they've also made the same mistake. It gets murky, man. It gets murky. And we continue now. There's Guy. There's Ozzy, my favourite player. I can't watch that without smiling. I just can't. Now, let's see if we can get the behind the goal view. This is where it gets a little bit... The pendulum maybe perhaps swings a little bit away from Steve in this one. A little bit away. Oops. There comes Ricky. There he goes. Bang. Ball's in the net. Now at this point, there's Archibald, Steve Archibald. Well, hang on. I've got the thing for that, haven't I?
Spurs with the high ball. They've already made that obvious that they've seen the weakness in the air in the Spurs defence. They're going to try and threaten that. But Spurs have still got...
I couldn't get it without Jimmy Hill. Right. So we got Steve Archibald, Glenn Hoddle, Ricky Villiers. 2 mystery players here. I think that might be Graham Roberts. I'm not sure. Galvin's probably over here somewhere. But again, look, the left-hand side of the penalty area cut off. Now on the right, the right-hand side here, this is where, I don't know. Steve says he was there though. It's a bit of feud. He could be in here somewhere, or he could be over here. That's all the footage I can find. I've been digging and digging and digging. I couldn't find any more. Can you help? Are you one of these people down here? Because when this was going on, there would be people with machine gun-like fingers on the shutter button, wouldn't they? All like that, and there's a load over here. Are you one of those people? Drop a comment drop a line in the comments below. Drop a line in the comments below. Now, there is another, I wouldn't say fly in the ointment or sand in the Vaseline to this, but this opens the whole thing up wide. I was speaking to Johnny Bethnal Green last night. Now, Johnny Bethnal Green, I mean, it was a bit hazy, but this is as good as I got. Hey, look, every conspiracy theory has got to have a bit of, murky vagueness in it. So Johnny said, I had a book when I was a kid. It was either called something like Great Goals or Football Strategy. It might have been published or purchased from W.H. Smith. He said the cover, he said it was blue and white, and it was probably 83 because it had a picture of Zico on the cover, or maybe it was a Spurs player. So, you know what time does to your mind, man. A little bit of memory, it all gets a bit messed up, doesn't it? So, have you got that book? Have you got the book that might be called Football Strategy or Fantastic Goals, something like that? Johnny is going to talk to his mum and see if she's still got it. Wow, that'd be a turn up. Now, the key is that in this book, it has Ricky Villiers' goal. It has Ricky Villiers' goal. And it has a diagram of where all the players were on the pitch when he was doing it. And if you see a 6 Perryman, hopefully not a 5 Perryman, we need some competency in media world these days. Is there a 6 Perryman in the box when Ricky scores the goal? Steve Perryman, our captain, wants your help. I want your help. Any leads, no matter how obscure or silly or whatever, I'm going to have a bit of fun with this. Drop them in the comments below. I will pursue them. But, man, oh man. Now, this all came about because Steve was saying that he was more of a wing-back than a full-back, and Garth, I think, disagreed. I don't know how Garth would know. He should have been looking up the other end of the pitch. But it just reminded me, like, all this talk these days, these people try and be clever about football and say, oh, inverted fullbacks and all this. They come up with terms, but like they've just thought of something. I used to see Steve Perryman and Chris Hughton do this day in, day out at White Hart Lane. They'd be popping up. Look, they had good football brains, so, you know, you're not always going to do it like some big track program robot. I must get the ball and run into the middle. But if there's a gap there, you're going to do it. If there's a gap in front of you, you're going to do it. And that's what they were very, very good at doing. And I know that when I used to watch them play, when either of these two got the ball, this to me says that they are more wing-backs, you know, more progressive players. There was excitement. When those two got the ball, something might happen. That tells you something. I mean, this whole inverted wing or progressive wing back, Cyril Knowles, he was hardly in his own half, that guy. Anyway, can you help? Can you help Steve solve this mystery? Was Steve Perryman in the penalty area for all 3 goals in the 1981 FA Cup final replay? I mean, he was there, so I'm assuming he was. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Show me footage where he wasn't in there. Let's do it the other way around as well. If you've got conclusive photo that shows the whole penalty area and Steve Perryman's nowhere to be seen, case closed. But I think you'll find that Steve's there hanging around somewhere. Anyway, folks, we've got to have some fun before football starts. I'm having fun with this. Till next time, I'll just say peace and love, man. Peace and love, and come on, you Spurs.